Here's a mindset shift that I don't really see anyone talking about, and it's something we've discovered over the past few months and really began actively thinking that way in the past few days or couple weeks. And that's by thinking backwards or preemptively thinking in retrospect. So instead of going into something and reacting, it's taking your knowledge and context of the scenario and playing out maybe examples, or playing on overthinking on different opportunities or problems that might arise on different paths, and looking back at it and trying to carve your way to the best outcome by understanding how different actions or different scenarios will affect that destination. So whether that's with, right now I'm programming and I'm thinking, okay, what are these specific use cases where this will be needed? Or taking a couple days to change the entire framework of the backend storage so that down the line it's easier on us to manage and easier to work with on the seller side and making their experience as easy as possible. Now I could have just done like a basic, this is where everything goes, but it's more organized and put in a way where it'll make our lives easier down the road. This is kind of what like brought us up to start talking about it, is for the pitch competition. By looking at past years, we looked at who won, but we didn't look at why they won and tried to find the competition and to see why the winners were chosen. And if we had done that, it would have helped us understand that the judges prefer clarity and a simple idea over something grand and maybe a little bit confusing to immediately understand. So this framework of thinking ahead, but not only thinking ahead to see where you want to go, but using that knowledge and that extrapolation of what's happening now to the future to actually actively help you make decisions right now and decide which way to go or what's right or wrong. Now, this is something that's like extremely difficult to do, and it requires you to have a large amount of context or knowledge of the field or project you're in. So it's not always doable. And even when you do have all the context, there's a million things that could come up. Life's unpredictable, and so are projects, businesses, fields, and industries is unpredictable, whether that's something that's on the macro level or the micro level. Now, despite that, with having that mentality in mind and actively doing things not because of what feels right now, but in pursuit of a path that you're seeing in the future, and instead of walking towards that path, pulling that destination towards you based off of the foreshadowing of events that you have built in your mind based off of exploring different paths and opportunities. Now, I think this requires a lot of out-of-the-box thinking and just being creative with it, because there's a million trillion different paths in one small action or in one small decision. And having that elasticity to really think beyond what the most probable outcomes are will allow you to form those decisions today. Now, I hope that kind of made sense. And as confusing as it might be just sounding and like listening to, it's even harder to actually enact. Even like actively trying to do it, I've had difficulties with this. And I mean, a lot of times things work out, but other times they don't. And when you reach that point in time where you look back, you're like, oh, I should have thought about that. Use that as a new neural link to understanding, okay, this was something I missed. Could I have caught that in the moment? If the answer is no, sometimes that's just how life is. But if the answer is yes, think about what led from that action to that result and the outcome. And think about all the little details that took place to guide that destination. And use that to really build on future thoughts and decision-making processes. That's really all I got for you guys. So preemptively think in retrospect. That means you know what retrospective. So once something's already done, you think about it like, oh, I could have done this differently. I could have done that differently. But having that thought process before the outcome's even completed. And it sounds impossible, but the more you practice it and the more you do it, the better you get at it. And you'll never be perfect, but you can be better. And the only thing you can ask for is to get better every day. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace.